right, Bass Galaxy. Welcome back. The vacation time has ended, and it is now time to celebrate Legends Month. Once again, I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and welcome to Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. It's the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Yes, it is. That is right. Good evening, glory, hallelujah to you. Legends Month.
What's going through you?
What's going through you?
Got that part.
I did. Legends Month rolls on, and we are pretty excited to bring to you another one of our heroes. The excitement is abounding.
I'm not going to accept you're pretty excited, by the way. Really
I mean,
excited.
my entire house is completely elated by the fact that we have the one and only original King of the North, Al Lindner, coming on tonight. Yes. It's happening. It's finally happening.
I'm legitimately nervous right now.
Woo, I can tell.
That's happening.
And my hands are a little sweaty right now.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I
They
can
really
tell
are.
You keep wiping them on me.
They really are. And speaking of the guy that's super nervous, let's get right to it around the horn. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my buddy right here. He is probably the biggest Al Lindner freak in the world. Give it up for Ryan Popcorn Al Lindner Whitaker. His parents actually named him Al Lindner. Al Lindecker. Yeah. See, I combined two.
It's the reason I wear flannels and have a beard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ryan Al Lindner Whitaker.
I'm so jacked up.
Your dad told me your name was Al Lindner, your middle name, but he didn't want everyone to know until tonight.
It's actually my imaginary friend, was Al Lindner.
My imaginary friend's name was Pecha. He was from Yugoslavia. It's a true
He
story.
used to tell me to keep my rod tip up.
They're smart imaginary friends. But Ryan, how excited are you that your hero, Al Lindner, is coming on the show?
It's crazy.
It's surreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
This magic carpet ride we're on?
I mean, all these guys have been heroes, but this is the guy. I watched him every weekend.
Dude, unbelievable Al Lindner coming on. Wow. So what I want to do is I want to go around the horn in usual fashion, but right now I'm going to bring you here to our college intern, the new kid on the boat, the college guy.
Pat, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm more excited for this show than anyone yet. I watched more Angling Edge than any show growing up.
Really?
I filled my DVR with Angling Edge. My parents were like, what's this Angling Edge show? I mean, I religiously watched it. My Christmas and birthday list, Angling Edge had a lot to do with the majority of my presents just because of what he promoted in the show. I'm not kidding. I mean,
it worked, Al. It worked.
I ordered so many shad wraps after that episode. I mean, it was a big part of my childhood. I'm not going to lie.
That's Danny Mohan. He's an Angling Edge fan right there. Give it up for Danny Mo.
And look at that, going multiple generations. He didn't even know about the In-Fisherman.
Yeah, he didn't even know what an In-Fisherman was.
No.
I subscribe to the magazines. Every single.
Well, right, but not.
Danny, you don't even know about fish location
you're
presentation equals success. You don't even know.
Doesn't even know.
You don't. He doesn't
Never
even
read the Secret
He doesn't
Systems
even
book.
know, Ryan. But you know who knows lots of stuff but doesn't know lots of other stuff? The OG hip hop
guy.
fisherman. Ladies and gentlemen, it's JP High. JP High.
He's got his fishing shirt on today.
You do. Yeah. You have an Angling Edge green khaki on that you got from anglingedge.com.
Look at this.
Very nice. Al Linder's Angling Edge official walleye JP High edition shirt that you got. It's very nice, JP.
Those are big mouths.
Oh, big mouth.
Old buckets.
Yeah. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see that
A
far.
couple of embroidered buckets on there.
Not a walleye guy.
It's very nice. Oh, there's nothing wrong with knocking the sides off some
That's
marble
not
eyes.
true. I dropped you off on Lakeshore Drive with a bag full of walleyes one time.
Oh.
That did happen.
Hey, everybody that we're on the Instagram thing live, but everybody that we're on Instagram live, go to our Facebook page. Make sure you go to our Facebook page. JP, are you excited for Al Lindner?
Yep.
I know you are.
Yep.
That In-Fisherman magazine was pretty special to you as a kid.
Oh, man.
I mean, wasn't it? I'm not talking to you right now, Ryan. Enough of you.
No.
It was. I only got 3 magazines as a child.
One was Ranger Rick.
It was Bassmaster, In-Fisherman,
And Ranger Rick.
and Mad Magazine.
That's perfect.
That's a good
Alfred,
lineup,
that's
actually.
a very good lineup,
Yeah.
actually. And speaking of Mad Magazine, we did not release this to the public until tonight. I felt it would be appropriate, but Alfred E. Newman is actually the long-lost cousin of our producer, the Ginger Ninja.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Andrew Ellenberger. It's Andrew Ellenberger from the Newman family tree. Newman. But he is a proud daddy. Did you know that Andy is a proud daddy?
I did know that.
And he is one of his widow angels. Oh, Gwen. You got birthday today. Happy birthday, Gwen.
Happy birthday, Gwen.
Woo! Yes. I don't know if Gwen's watching or not. Probably doesn't want to see this nonsense, but but Gwen, we love you. Happy birthday, for real, for real. Andy, how old is she?
11.
Oh my goodness
So
gracious!
she's super pumped now. She can be called 11 from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
L. What's up, L?
What's up,
What's
Al?
up, L? But that's so great. 11 years old. Look out, Ginch. Look out. I remember when my Jazzy Pie was 11. Whew. Goes quick from there, buddy.
Something.
Yeah.
11.
And then at 11 and a half, they know everything. So, just keeping you posted. Hey, speaking of knowing everything, you see how I do this in this roundy, rosy?
Yes.
Everybody knows that on Wednesday nights, Straycast is the place to win stuff. That's right. It's real easy. It's the way to win free stuff. Right here, Straycast Outdoor Cartoon Television. Tonight's prize is who? What do we got going on, guys?
As
Tell
we
me.
mentioned last week, we are giving away Shane's Baits. So they are
Shane's
the creators
Baits.
of some amazing A-rigs. They got the Blades of Glory, Mini Blades of Glory, like the BFL Special. They got some amazing A-rigs. We're giving away $50 worth of those rigs.
Compliments of Troy LaHue and
Great guys, great guys, even better A-rigs.
I like the mini-me's.
I do like the Mini-Me's. The Mini
Ooh,
Blades of
yeah.
Glory is phenomenal. I mean, best A-rig. I don't use them a lot, but that's the only one I will use.
Did you
I
know
like
that?
that Fifth Element.
Did you
That
know
one.
the
That-
that's a
yeah,
good one.
that's the other one.
Yeah.
Did you know the A-rig was actually named after Al Lindner? The A stands for Al in
That's true.
A-rig.
That makes
Little
sense.
true story that
In
I
fact,
just made up.
everything in fishing that starts with an A was named
Yes,
after Al.
named
Lindner.
after Al Lindner.
Yeah, it does make sense.
That's exactly right. But hey, like and share the live Facebook feed. That's all you have to do. Take it from our page and put it on your page, and you are automatically entered in the randomizer for a chance to win $50 worth of Shane's Baits. Shane'sBaits.com. Take it off of privates, right? Take it off of the privates.
Take it off of privates.
So-
and,
Yes.
Oh, sorry, right? So we can see it on the randomizer, and there it is. So
JP has a complex randomizer. During the whole show when he's on his
we paid
laptop,
extra for that
Yeah.
complex randomizer.
During the show, JP's going through the randomizer, figuring out who wins.
In fact, his psychiatrist told him he was a complex randomizer at his last session, I believe. Is that how that one ended? But anyway, hey, what do you say? You put those power poles down. You don't go anywhere. And we get back with the king of the north, Al Lindner. We'll be right back. Boom. Don't go. Stay where you are. Stay right there.
The revolution is now. The new day of the proper Bassin Man has dawned. The spirits soar, and the forests echo with laughter. The rise of the proper Bassin Man is now. Ask yourself, are you proper Bassin?
Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com.
Hey guys, Micah Frazier here. I've got a bait from War Eagle Baits called the Buzz Toad. Big thing lately has been putting a toad style bait on a buzz bait, and preferably it's my favorite way to fish one. This bait here's got a quick planing head, a great hook, and it squeals right out of the package. The body of this bait is big and bulky, so it allows you to skip it. It planes quicker than a skirted bait would. In my opinion, it's just the way to fish a buzz bait. So y'all check this thing out. It's pretty awesome.
The TH Marine Hydrowave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The Hydrowave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The Hydrowave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
It's Mike Iaconelli. This is Bass U TV.
Here's what's awesome about Bass U TV.
You get the top instructors.
You will learn things at Bass U that you will learn nowhere else.
We take the mystery and the myths out of bass fishing.
Real tools that help you catch more fish consistently.
At Bass U TV, shoes are optional.
And I like turtles.
And that's why you want to check out Bass U TV.
Join the Bass U family.
Welcome to Bass U TV.
Throw farther, get some Kevin Van Dam's line and lure. You can launch it a mile. Still going. Well, better stick to fishing.
Welcome back. This is Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. It's the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, and I am your host, Pat Renwick, and I could not be any more elated to bring you for the first time ever on this crazy bass fishing talk show. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Al Lindner. This is Al Lindner. Wow. Holy cow. Woo! What's up, Al?
That's a heck of an opening, man.
Well, you are a heck of an important person to us, and I hate to cheese out on you immediately, but if you can't tell, my face is cracked from smiling for the fact that basically one of my childhood heroes is on the show right now, and we've been doing this thing all month, Alan. It's been Legends Month. We had some guys you probably run into before in your career. Jimmy Houston was on, and Denny Brower was on, and now we bring the bass fishing world Al Lindner, the iconic Al Lindner. I want to tell you something. This is the last I'm going to cheese out, and then I'm going to let Ryan over here cheese out a little bit first. We'll get the cheesing out of the way, okay? But I got to tell you, Al, how important that you, your brothers, and the In-Fisherman the whole aura up to the angling edge, how important it is to us as anglers. Okay, we grew up on the south side of Chicago. And we as we'll get into with you a little bit too, but that's where we're at now. If you notice that I'm kind of talking a little bit like this, Al, it's because I'm from Chicago. Okay,
I like it, man. I like it.
but here's the fact of the matter: we didn't have all those angling opportunities around us, but we loved fishing so much, and those weekends spent in front of the television with Al Lindner and Ron Lindner and Bill Dance and Jimmy Houston and Roland Martin. How important those were to our development as an angler, and how your character and your role model from the time you started with television in 1970 all the way up to the angling edge now.
Yeah.
Man, what an amazing character role model you have been, Al Lindner. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you personally. This is our studio audience.
I really appreciate that,
wow.
Pat. It's been a good run, bro. It's been a good run. And I can still, the thing when they call you a legend, that means you're kind of getting old. That I can still put a boat in the water. I still fish 180 days or so a year, and I still remember what to do when something pulls on the end of the line. I know to pull back.
Plain and simple. Hey, Al, I want you to meet one of my best friends right here, and this guy over to my right with the beard and the flannel shirt. This is real. He dresses like this all the time. It's like he is an Al Lindner freak. He's an Al Lindner head. Did you know there is such a damn thing, Al?
And I have that Trilene jacket
and
too.
Plaid shirts make big points with me. Big points, man. The only thing, what are you wearing on your feet? You got a pair of moccasins on, man?
I don't have the moccasins.
Oh.
I got some Vans. Sorry.
Okay.
But our intern Danny's got the moccasins.
Bro. You got a little ways to go yet.
He's learning, Al. He's learning.
I haven't reached moccasin hood yet, but we'll get there, though.
Our intern, the big angling edge fan, Danny over here, he's wearing moccasins, so he's a step up.
But Al, I do have that. Or what color is it? I'm colorblind. Red, orange.
Okay, Trilene jacket.
I do have that original '80s Trilene jacket downstairs.
Oh, he
that
sure
you wore
does.
in a bunch of awesome Trilene commercials
Yes.
back in the day. I do have that one.
Crawling off logs,
But Al,
diving
I just got to share a quick story, and then we'll get to talking about some cool stuff. But when I was in 6th grade, my teacher told us to write a letter to someone, a celebrity, anyone you can think of. So I decided to write a letter to you because I had a tournament coming up in a month, and it was my first ever bass tournament. I was 11 years old, and I wrote a letter to you asking you tips on fishing this little pond, this little puddle that
You had a big derb
100 kids are gonna gather around and try to win a prize. And you sent me an autographed picture and the Secret Systems book and said good luck.
Yes.
And I won the tournament. First, I did.
How did you say you were 11?
I was 11. Yes. And since that day, all I want to do is fish bass tournaments, and it's your fault.
It's your fault, Al. It's all you did.
But no, I really appreciated it. I still have the photo and the letter and everything. I had my dad dig it up. And
we actually put it on our Instagram and in the story. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Al, imagine yourself at 11 years old, like Ryan Whitaker just told you this story. Now you're probably over there. You're on Lake Ripley over there, where you cut your teeth.
I fished Ripley. I fished the whole chain of lakes. I spent a lot of time on Channel. Bangs Lake was one of my favorite. It was one of the best bass lakes in there. In that area. I used to go on Zurich. There was one little boat rental place on Zurich.
So you're 11 years old.
That was when these lakes had so many big bass then. and the learning, and I'm sure they probably still do, although the fishing pressure, I'm sure, has skyrocketed.
Insane. Yeah.
But this was when, I remember when we got our first depth finder, the first depth finder and the first set of spoon plugs that we bought.
The old Buck Perry's.
there was a discount house called Klein Sporting Goods in Chicago.
Okay, yeah.
And they had this big promotion going on. And they had this stuff on these spoon plugs and depth finders and everything. So my brother and I go, and I don't remember what it cost us to buy this stuff. But I took the spoon plug thing out, and I got on Bangs Lake. We came off at where those 2 points, you got like 2 bays, and then the point, that point separate. There was a hard bottom spot. I'm looking at this depth finder, trying to figure out how this thing works and what it's about. And I think it was the size 200 spoon plug. It wasn't the bigger one. It was.
I remember the Buck Perry's. Yeah, I do.
That was it. So this was all this was the foundation of this stuff getting ready to explode. So I take this spoon plug. It's on a spinning rod, and we anchor up. And I'd seen a hard bottom. I didn't even know what this interpreted. I knew you're looking for points. I read this Buck Perry booklet about structure and. So I make a cast out with this spoon plug. I let it sink to the bottom. It's on a spinning rod, by the way.
I'm with you.
I start reeling this thing back, and it's pounding the bottom, and it's going dunk, dunk. All of a sudden, I feel something pull back. I set the hook. I start fighting this thing. I see this big bass come out his mouth. Go, my eyes got this big. It was like one of those times in your life that it changed your life forever.
Wow.
Yeah, this was one of those wow moments.
And how old are you, Al? How old are you at this point? Are you 11? You're right.
11, 12 years old, somewhere right in there. My brother's 10 years older than I am.
Yeah. So Ron let you go, basically.
He dragged me everywhere. And that was kind of, I can remember that distinctly. Yeah, it was one of those things. And by the way, we fished that lake so many times after that. There used to be a beach area. Some of our old listeners that are listening here now, used to be a place called Honey Hill on there. And there was a big playground, slides and everything. In the evening when the park would close, this was out on a lake.
Okay.
It's a big beach area. And below all of these rafts and everything, we could go fish with night crawlers and throw for bass on the anchors of the rafts, the bottom of the slides that you would slide in. They'd close the beach at night, but you could come in there with a boat.
Nice.
And we'd catch bass all over these places, throwing the night crawler hook through the nose.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was the learning curve that lit the fire. Every one of us, you got those experiences, but growing up, in the streets of Chicago, being able to get to those lakes, and in my case, being fortunate enough to have my brother 10 years my senior, who was a fishing nut.
Yeah,
and to see this, to be exposed to that at that point in time,
amazing.
In that market, in that Chicago market, and eventually we fished all the lakes from there up to Milwaukee. And there's a lot of water in there when you get there. A lot of good water. From what I understand, it's still good water.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And and then just that kind of puts it in perspective too, because obviously you growing up in the same area geographically as we did, you appreciated those trips where you got to go to where there was some populations of fish. You know what I mean? And to really to use that term, cut your teeth on some of the finest bass waters the North had to offer. But let's bring it up. Let's step up to now, and I'm going from things I've heard. So please, I'm going Rain Man on you here. So please please correct me at any time. You won a tournament at about 16 years of age, and I think it was a muskie derb. Okay, and you got interviewed by the local television station. And that's what kind of kindled the fire in you to like, wait a minute, I kind of like this whole camera thing, and maybe I could make a few bucks at this, and obviously I love fishing. Is that where it started? Is that the deal?
Actually, it was a two-part deal. There used to be a tournament, a tour on the chain of lakes. It was called the World Series of Freshwater Fishing.
Okay.
It was on Channel Marie Catherine. I qualified for that event on Channel, on Channel Lake.
And you're how old are you? This is 1960? Is that right?
I was somewhere around 13, 14 years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. So I qualified for this championship event, and they had it on Long Lake out of Spooner, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The fish-off was on Long Lake out of Spooner. And lo and behold, I won that tournament.
Nice.
And now I qualified to go to Missouri to fish in the World Series of Sport Fishing, which was the first organized sport fishing. This is where Virgil Ward,
yes, of course.
This is where Virgil Ward and that stuff developed. This was prior to BASS.
I'm with you,
front end.
100%.
And it was a multi-species thing. It was how many pounds of fish, white bass, crappies,
everything.
Just load the boat with pounds of
game fish.
Yeah, So I mean, this kind of led to the idea of what this tournament fishing was about. And then in that period of time, I'm on Grindstone Lake with my buddy. His name was Mike Petty. His grandpa owned a bait shop and a small 5-cabin resort on Grindstone out of there called Valhalla Resort in Hayward, Wisconsin. And we got really interested in muskie fishing at that time. I worked in the bait shop. My grandmother had a cabin up there, so I spent all my summer vacations with her ever since I was a little kid.
Awesome.
Yeah, my mom and dad would send me up with her, and we'd stay, and all I did was fish. And as I got older, I took care of her. Yeah, my grandma. But we fished all the time. I started to do a little guiding at resorts and hustle a couple bucks as a punk kid.
Nice.
Gas in a boat. But I'd already had a kind of a reputation. This kid knows how to go out here and catch smallmouth and big jumbo perch, in some resorts in the area. So go hire this kid. He knows where to get those things.
He's the guy.
He'll put you out the perch.
Making a couple bucks hustling this stuff, and Mike and I started to think about this muskies thing, and they had this muskie event going on in the Hayward areas, and let's go see if we can catch a muskie. Lo and behold, I got myself a big muskie and ended up winning the Muskie Festival.
Go figure.
Wisconsin. So we get hauled up to Duluth, Minnesota, and the sportscaster in Duluth that's doing this thing. It's a big hoopla. I think I made like $80, something like that. And he brought me up to Duluth and had me on the television news. Yeah, I was, this is pretty cool stuff, man. Yeah, I'm getting paid to be here. I'm a big star. I'm on the sportscast. I'm kind of liking this stuff, man. Give me more, man. I like this game.
Right.
So all of this stuff all came together. It was like a whirlwind as a kid. Yeah, and I just learned I learned so much so fast. And all I knew when I was in that 12, 13, 14 year old age, you'd go to Christmas parties, family stuff, and people, hey kid, what are you gonna do, Al, when you grow up? And I said, I'm gonna make my living fishing.
That's amazing.
Living fishing, and they'd look at me. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah, okay, kid. Living fishing. Interesting thing. My mother, who loved the fish, she never, ever, ever. She fed that. She seen something in me, and thank goodness it was my older brother again that was so hardcore into fishing. Come Christmas time or birthdays or anything, I had the latest fishing tackle. And anything that was worth coming out, the best rods, the best reels, the best magazines, the best lures, the hottest of everything. That's all I got. That's all I would ever get.
That's awesome.
And I loved. That's what I want. And my brother knew what this stuff was, so he'd tell my mom. And my mom, she never said that at that age, that's dumb. You're going to have to go to college. You're going to have to go get a real job doing something. You're going to make a living fishing. And she never said that. She never put it down and put me down on that stuff. So I was exposed to the best things that were available in the market at that point in time.
It's so important.
And I got to tell this one story. There's a lot of people.
Please do. Yes.
We had in a basement of my parents' house on Henderson Street, 5051 Henderson Street, right by Lane Tech.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
In a block away from Lane. We started a tackle company called Lindner Manufacturing. I'm in my third year of high school, and I own a third of a tackle. My first taste of business in the fishing industry, a real business.
Yeah.
And I got a third. My brother's got a third. And a guy that is a truck jobber that peddles fishing tackle in between Chicago and Milwaukee had a third of it. And he talked to my brother, and he says, you guys are tying these jigs and spinners. Yeah, and he says, and Ron was selling them, and we tie them and make some up over the weekend. He said, "Man, this is pretty nice stuff. Can you make more of them?" And he says, "Why don't you find a way to make more tackle? I'm calling on all these stores between here and Milwaukee, and you make more tackle, and we'll peddle this stuff." So we actually had a company. I'm in business when I'm in my third year of high school.
You are legendary in these parts. You know that.
There's 6 kids working in the basement of my parents' house after school and on Saturdays, buying jigs, and we're making inline spinners, and we're going to the stockyard hustling bucktails or calf tails out of the bag, drying them out, getting the maggots off them to make the hair jigs.
I gotta know.
That was a taste of. Little did I know that I was going to be a businessman. Little did I know that this seed was planted. And then we had a bigger wholesaler company made an offer to buy out the molds and everything that we had. I graduated from high school. I had this dream to go fish, and wanted to go fish tournaments that were just starting. I moved to Hayward, Wisconsin to be a guide. When we sold my third of that business, I had $1,800. I'm 18 years old.
Okay.
I finished college. I left shortly after I graduated from high school. I went up there to be a guide. I had $1,800 in my pocket, enough money that I bought a Ford station wagon, sleeping bag, everything I owned in the back of it, and a car topper aluminum boat from Sears. And I headed to Hayward, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Wow. This is awesome.
And the rest after that, my whole life started to change after that. Through guiding, when I came back out of the service, we dreamed about making a living in the fishing industry. Got in. The things after that really started to mushroom.
Sure.
Wow. The dream came true.
And it was, what year did you actually leave Chicago? What year was it? Did you go to the service first, or?
Yeah, my mom called me. This was obviously when the draft was on.
Vietnam.
My mom called me. She said, "You got a letter in the mail here. You got to come back. I was in Hayward at the time. She got to come here. You got to go get your physical and register for the draft." So I left Hayward, Wisconsin, came back in, and that was in fall, late summer. So I go back in. I went in and did my physical. Did all the stuff, and I'm thinking, I'm 20 years old, man. What do I don't know if I want to spend another winter up there. The summers were fine. I could fish every day. This ice stuff wasn't too appealing to me. I like the open water stuff.
Yeah.
So I go. I'm sitting back in my parents' house, and I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do in life. I called back to the draft board, and I says, can I push my draft number up? She said, "Yeah, we'll take care of a young man." There's a short while after that, I was on a bus. They pushed my draft number up, and I went for basic training to Fort Knox, Kentucky, and then they shipped me from there to Fort Gordon, Georgia, for advanced training in a communications end of the business. Catch, this is interesting. In a communications end of the business.
I like it.
I'm learning how to use a teletype rig. I'm learning how to type and do stuff. Then they send me to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for advanced training there. And I'm with the 1st Battalion, 40th Artillery there, and I'm running a teletype rig, me and 3 other guys. We're handling a teletype rig on the back of a 3/4 ton.
Gotcha.
Get dispatched, we get a call. Our division is shipping out with the 3rd Marine Division, heading up to the DMZ in Vietnam. We were support for them. So that year that I spent on the DMZ, all I'm thinking about, Ron is sending me all kind of fishing books, anything at that time was Sports Afield, Outdoor Life, and Field and Stream. That was it.
That's right.
Yeah, Jason Lucas was the god of bass fishing at that time. He was the editor of Sports Afield. Anything he wrote on bass fishing, it was like listening to Kevin Van Dam.
Yeah.
You couldn't get enough of it. You got it immediately. I wanted to see what it was, man. And so our dream was to make, move up to the Northwoods. We're thinking Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, buy a little 4 or 5 cabin resort, open a guide service, a little bait shop, and live happily ever after in the woods. I'm out of the cities. I want to live out in the woods. There's so much water up here. We looked in Wisconsin a little bit, ended up in Minnesota, started in the guide business. That led to Lindy Tackle Company. That got sold after a few years to the Rayovac Corporation. That's when In-Fisherman started, and my whole life changed for the next 25 years after
Amazing.
that. Bango.
Amazing. Wow. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, what was the year that In-Fisherman started? Was
75.
75.
I started bass fish. I started fishing bass. I fished that second BAS tournament. I fished that, and then I started fishing bass in Bass Casters Association. That was out of Illinois. Another stuff that tried to be what bass was.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. And I fished tournaments in Florida. There was a place called American Bass that they were trying to copy what bass did, but bass was already building. And in between guiding and tackle manufacturing, all of that stuff was going on. But I was already fishing the beginning of tournaments and the bass tour. And in fact, my fishing partner, roomie at a lot of these events was Bobby Murray.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We stayed together.
That was your guy. By the way, how did you get Billy out of the picture?
Billy and Bobby, I did fish with both of them a lot.
Nice.
Way. They taught me so much about reservoir fishing. Yeah, it was one of those bonds. You just kind of there was something that hit it. You just hit it off right, man.
That's
awesome. Gelled together.
Do you still talk to them at all, or
Bobby? Probably a year ago.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Billy, probably Billy about a year ago too.
I think we saw them at the Forest Wood Cup.
We did.
Yeah, a couple summers ago. I don't know if it
this
was
year.
This year.
Yeah,
okay,
they were there
with Dion with Dion Hibden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is right. Hey,
Bobby did, or Billy actually had a thing in Indiana called the Bass Fishing Institute. And it was a big deal. It was a fishing school, a weekend fishing classes.
Way back,
I'd speak at all of these events along with a lot of the other touring.
It's like the original Bass University
was there.
the who's. Yeah, but you had a pretty impressive BASS run. Not a lot of people know that, but you were a force to be reckoned with, wasn't he? Ryan?
Yeah, you fished 3 classics, and you had 11 top 10s out of the 26 events you fished.
Was that what it was?
Yeah,
I fished the 3 classics. I won two tournaments. Interesting point in your life. You know how we all hit crossroads in life, and you got to make a decision where you're going to go at this point in time.
Transitions.
I'm fishing. I'm at the Bassmaster Classic on Currituck Sound, and it's the first time I've ever been on Tidewater. And it was a disaster tournament for me.
And what year was this out? What
year? I did understand how it was fluctuating. I remember the last day of practice. There's a duck blind. Water was high, and we had a good weed bed around. One side of it, I seen Roland Martin fishing, and we're both catching fish. And I figured, this is going to be my opening spot. I know he knows this water really good. I didn't understand the tides. I get in there in the morning, the water's down, everything, and there's no Roland Martin there. There's nobody there for me. And I didn't understand what the fluctuation, how the bass related to tide. It was a bummer. I had a terrible first day, and you're trying to figure out what had happened. But I'm driving back from that tournament. This was the last classic that I fished. And I'm driving back, and I had a chat with my wife. By the way, those old classics were really fun. You didn't know where you were going to go.
Yes.
You got on an airplane. You drove down to a place. Everybody met. You have 10 pounds of tackle in your tackle box, pre-packed. That's all you could take.
Awesome.
And that was it. You didn't know until you got on an airplane and Scott flew us all around. You didn't know where you were going until you landed, and ta-da, you were there. Those classics were fun, man.
Yeah, buddy.
They were really, really fun.
They must bring that back. Yes.
So at that point, In-Fisherman was just beginning. We were just starting it. It was just getting off the ground. And I fished that classic, and I knew I fished it mechanically.
Okay.
But I had the mechanical skills. I'm just fishing. But my mind, and this was post-tournament analysis, I'm looking back. I said I fished this mechanic. I did not fish it to win.
You phoned it in.
Fire in the belly, when that fire gets in the belly, you know that to win, you know that you were a player. I had that. I experienced. I knew it. I knew what it took. That tournament, I didn't have that. It wasn't there. Yeah, my mind was back on the business. I got a television show I got to go back to. I mean, I was. My focus wasn't there. I did not fish to win. My mindset was. I knew it. And I told my wife, I got to make a decision. I'm either gonna. This bass thing is exploding. There's a future in this. I'm good at it. I know how to play at this level, at this game. I either got to do this or I got to stay with this In-Fisherman thing that we're building. And I got to put my energy in one of these two.
One or the other. Yeah.
I got to make a call. And it was almost like a flip of a coin because I loved it. And lo and behold, I made a good call that changed my life.
Worked out pretty good. Yeah.
But I'll never forget that moment that that fire in the belly that it took. That I knew that I lost it. It wasn't there at that event.
Wow.
Yeah. Something changed. Something was different.
But there was a new fire, right? There was a new fire.
Yeah. And that's I got into it. I love television. By the way, guys, I still love television.
Yeah.
I like doing TV fishing shows.
Well, you better. It's 49 years, Al.
You're pretty darn good at it, Al.
It's something I still like to do. So, that 25-year run at In-Fisherman, at one point, my God, we had, we had numerous magazine titles servicing all, different kind of one-timers, and we had tournaments. We were playing on, at one point, it was like 600 plus radio stations, 6 days a week with a 5-minute piece on that, doing television shows In-Fisherman television. We had a walleye series, the tournament. I mean, guys, this was like a 25-year whirlwind for me. Everything happened so fast, and it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. Somebody that wasn't in the media business, that's the best thing that ever happened. I didn't know that you could fail. I didn't know.
That's a good outlook to have those blinders.
Yeah.
It was so focused on a dream. So focused on that dream. It consumed. It was an obsession with me, just like fishing was my whole life. It was an obsession. To build it. Yeah. And then one day along the adventure of life, do things. We had a couple of offers to sell In-Fisherman. Yeah, and most of them I didn't look. One of them, by the way, was Helen Severe from Bassmaster.
Is that right?
An interesting acquisition.
Okay.
Came through. We sat down. If at that point, for us up north and what they had with bass, that was what it didn't happen for a few different reasons on some cultural shift. But that was one that would have really shook this industry up. Helen came up.
This is late 90s, Al? Is this like the late 90s probably?
Yeah, it got to be about that.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in that range, mid to late 90s.
Okay.
And it got this. So then we had 7 offers over the years that we talked about, and none of them were right. And then I finally get one call from some a big media company out of New York. And I'm Joe Blow. We've been seeing what you guys do. We make acquisitions. We're looking at the outdoor industry. A lot of things in hunting and fishing intrigue us. We've been watching your title. It's doing really good. What you guys are doing, multimedia with television and radio. This all appeals to us. And would you ever be interested in selling? And at the time, this was a casual conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
I said, let's keep in touch. We're not up for sale. I'm really don't know. So I said, let's sit down and talk. So he's flying through from New York, going to Los Angeles on a meeting. I'm leaving Brainerd, Minnesota, going to Des Moines, Iowa to do a sports show. So I meet him at the Minneapolis airport. We go inside, we have a cup of coffee. The first time we're face to face a little bit. And then the hand holding started here.
The courtship.
I said, if you ever, here's my business card. This is what we do. Learn a little bit more about us. Ask a question. And I sent them a little piece of paper on this. And then they requested another thing. This went on for about a year. And a little more happening is one day I get a registered letter in the mail. And basically what it says, if we came to your business and did our due diligence and it proves to be everything you said it is and showed us to be, and this all checks out, we'd be willing to give you X amount of dollars for that business.
Wow.
Now, a kid growing up on the streets of Chicago, man, I had to do a double take. There's a lot of zeros, baby, a lot of them. I'm looking at it. Let me see. I got these hands. This is a pretty big deal, man.
Wow.
So we went a little bit further. Talked to my wife and my brothers of some things. Again, remember, he's 10 years my senior.
Yeah.
So this kind of would put him in really good shape for the rest of his days. And the decision they make, I talked to my wife and her brother. He said, we're doing really good. We don't care if you really sell this. They said, you make the call, Al. We're making money. We're happy. Everything is fine. Ronnie and my wife, his wife, says, you want to sell, go sell. If you don't want to, he says, we're good. We're comfortable. You got to make the call. They're going to put the golden handcuffs on you for a little while. You're the one. He's going to go up and go, which is what happened. You got a work contract that you put on there, and you had to deliver X amount. My job for first 2 years was, after the sale, what was to organize a management team, an internal management team, and get myself out of the loop. Like I said, reorganize a reporting structure on everything, how it comes from Brainerd, Minnesota, and works with us in New York City. Create a new internal management team of fiscal changes stuff. Get yourself out of here, take your money, and go fish the rest of your life. See you get job done.
Get out of the way.
Right there. I did that for 2 years, and then and I had a non-compete.
Sure.
Non-compete was for 4 years. So
Okay.
I did a 2-year work contract. Then they come back again and say, we need you for 1 more year to keep doing television. And just do 13 weeks of television shows.
Nice.
So okay, I'll do that. And then I had 1 year transition after that, and that's where we got the idea to come back in and get back in television. I'm sitting talking to my wife, and she says, what are you going to do with your life? You're still relatively young. We're independent. You're independently. Well, we don't need to work no more. You can go anywhere, do whatever you want to do, any way you want to do it. What do you think you're going to do with your life? You're still young. And I said, I like doing TV fishing shows. And just in passing, she says, why don't you, Joe, go and keep doing them? And that was just in passing.
Why not?
Here, and I thought the idea for Angling Edge, go back in here. I talked to Dan Sura, who had worked with when we sold. He was our operation officer. He was working for another company. I got this idea. I talked to my brother. He says, it's an interesting thought. Let's get back into the business, And I talked to our chief financial officer, Gary McAnally, who orchestrated the sale of In-Fisherman 4 years earlier for us. I told him, listen, we're looking at getting back into television, doing this, a family business, going to do this. You guys interested? They both said, one tell of us, we're done. They turned in their job resignation. They said, we're in, we're back. Let's play.
Play ball. Put me in, coach.
Yeah, you want to keep working this job or you want to come fishing?
Yeah. That's awesome. And then the Angling Edge reaches new generations where the In-Fisherman picked off, and then a whole other generation of anglers.
Our young intern over here.
Amazing.
Grew up with it.
Amazing.
I still love the game. So does everybody in here grew up in this business. They love the business. They love the fishing business. They were exposed to it all their life. In our industry, when I talk to a lot of people, this is a lifestyle business. You guys understand it.
Sure. Yes.
If you're looking for a job that you have 9 to 5 and your 2-week vacation, and you ain't going to make a big buck in this business working 9 to 5. If you're working sport, you got to hustle. This business, if you're going to make a buck
every day and Sunday,
you bust your butt, baby. I mean, you're going on weekends, you're on the road, you're traveling. You ain't going to make a good living in this business. It's all part of it. You got to be willing to get out there and hustle. And there's a lot of freelance opportunities for guys, independent contractors. And if you're a freelancer in this business, whether you're podcasting or in a radio business or working as a pro staffer for something, if you're a freelancer, you usually got to do about 3 different things to make bucks, to make ends meet.
Yeah.
You might be guiding, You might be tournament fishing in between, guiding, working as a pro staffer for a company, working sport shows. This is how you make it. And eventually, I'm fortunate. I made a little bit more than most. I cashed out pretty good in a business. But it is a business that is a lifestyle. You got to love it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
You got to have the fire in your belly, Al,
Bingo.
like you said.
Bingo.
You got to have the fire in your belly.
If the people are great, the industry is great. There ain't another industry like this. The people are fantastic, man.
Amazing.
And to get paid to fish and do the things that we do and make a living doing something you love to do in a fishing business, I'm living a dream. I still live in a dream, man.
It's unreal. I mean, a studio audience round of applause for that right there.
Yeah, most people are happy
my
just to
goodness
be
gracious.
outside.
There it
You know,
is.
to be outside and fishing.
This Chicago crowd loves you. You hear that?
My roots were there, man. My roots were in shy, and I'd like to go back.
Well,
I told Jimmy, I said, I'd like to go back on a chain of lakes or go back on banks.
yes.
I'd like to go there and do a television show and go back in there and fish those lakes. See what I know now with the electronics that we have now and how we used to fish. You know how your mind can play tricks on you?
Yeah.
I can still, in my mind, as I'm sitting talking to you now, I can remember somebody's spots. I'd like to go back there and look at them. Are they really what I imagined them to be?
Yeah.
When I was there and fish them, I would love to do this.
But that's the magic and the mystery of fishing. I don't care if it's bass fishing or if it's perch fishing or whatever, man. That's the magic and the mystery. And you kind of just nailed it right there, Al. That was pretty cool, man.
Hey, Al, if you ever want to do that, I know a guy with a boat that would take you out.
He's got an extra flannel, too, for you.
I do.
Yeah. That's outstanding. Hey, let's since we all have Chicago roots, I think that we should probably interrogate you Chicago PD style. What do you think?
Go for it.
Let's do it. Al Lindner, let's do this right now. Chicago PD interrogation. Al, I need you to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Lead.
Okay. Al, what is your kryptonite? What is Al Lindner's weakness?
Weakness?
Yes.
As far as fishing or
anything, Al.
Lifestyle weakness.
Anything, Al.
Anything.
Probably that I'm still obsessive in what I do to the point that I obsess on, and my wife tells me that. I'll give you an example. Years ago, she gave me a poster, and it was a cat. And the cat is spread eagle, and he's got a mouse under both feet, a mouse in each hand, and a mouse in his mouth. Mouse running across the floor, and his eyes are glued on it. She says, "That's you." I'll never forget. She said, "That you. I love the game. I love the game. I love to play the game, and I'm obsessive sometimes." I like winning. Let me put it there. I like to win.
Okay, I'm with you
That's
there.
good.
And this question here kind of goes back to what you were talking about, what you want to see, what you know. But what is something that you know now, or let's put it this way, something that you wish you would have known when you were younger that you know now? About fishing.
Interesting question. That's a real interesting question. As a younger person, I had my heroes that I followed in business and fishing. A younger person, probably, if I would have more patience with people.
More patience with people.
I would have more patience with people. I would, I didn't have a lot of patience.
Were you a hothead? Were you a hothead, Al Lindner?
A little bit. I
bit.
can.
Okay.
A little bit.
You're a live wire.
I seem pretty mellow, but at times I would lose it. Every once in a while, I still do.
I would always want to be on your team. Put it that way. Let's just. You and Denny Brower both kind of scare me a little bit. I don't know why. Hey,
now patience was something. It's something that I could still use a little love.
Okay, amazing answer. So I ask a lot of you legends this question, and it's something I just like to know. Eventually, they're going to make the movie of Al Lindner. We know that. It might be an after-school special. It could be a blockbuster hit, but there is going to be a movie of Al Lindner. And who would you pick to play the role of Al Lindner? What famous actor?
Actor or person that I know?
I'm going to go with famous actor, unless there's the person you know is famous and we'll know them too.
Well, actually, he sounds like me more than I sound like me, and he can act my body movements and everything. His name is Tommy Scarless, and he's one of the leaders in the walleye tournament fishing world.
Okay.
Tommy Scarless.
Sure, I'm aware of Tommy.
He has the movements. He walks like me. He talks like me. I don't need, when he does it, it sounds like I'm looking in a mirror.
Okay, Hollywood is going to get Tommy.
Tommy Scarlett.
I love it.
He's got a career in acting ahead of him.
Here it is. This is what's going on here. I just heard a this just in.
Yeah, what was that?
Al, this just in. This is from the Bass Fishing Galaxy, Al, and in your video. Wait, hold on. I'm getting a transmission. Yes. Okay. In the 2020 Angling Edge episodes for bass fishing, you are only allowed to bring 4 rods, 4 reels, and 4 baits to film every episode. It's called 4 on deck, 1 on hand. 3 on deck, 1 on hand.
3 on
deck, 1 in hand. Al Lindner edition. So you got 4 rods and reels, 4 baits. What are the 4 rods and reels and the 4 baits that you're going to film every bass episode of Angling Edge in 2020?
A bass episode.
Yes, sir. Bass episode.
Well,
4 rods, 4 reels.
It would be Daiwa Tatula reels and bait casting.
Okay,
it would be ballistic and spinning for fine-tuned techniques. I would probably pick a 2,500 overall in size.
Okay.
For finesse fishing. And my rod choices, my marketing partners are St. Croix and Daiwa. So I fish all Daiwa stuff with St. Croix rods. And I like the Legend Elite Rod series overall in their rod series because of different kind of actions. I use them the majority of the time in my bass fishing.
Okay.
And so I would have 2 spinning rods, and I would have 2 spinning rods and 2 bait casting rods. I do a lot of finesse fishing, and because I fish so much smallmouth now. And smallmouth fishing is so good. That's why I use 2 spinning rods.
Sure.
And 2
I'm hearing you. So what's the 4 baits? You only got 4 baits.
For the whole season.
4 baits.
I'd have an X-Wrap.
Of course you would.
A hair jig.
Oh. Look at this. Hand-tied out of Chicago maggot bucktail.
I would still have a spinnerbait versus a chatterbait. As popular as a chatterbait is, day in and day out throughout a season long term, I'd rather fish a spinnerbait than a chatterbait. I believe I have more versatility with the bait, so I would stay with that.
Okay.
And then a jig.
I got one more. A jig. There it is.
It's got to have pure and simple, a jig. And if I got to get any simpler than that, it would be a black-blue jig.
And he nailed it. Yeah.
Very good.
Al Lindner, keeping it simple. The KISS approach.
X-Wrap, hair jig, spinner bait.
Back to the interrogation. Al Lindner, what is your guilty pleasure? Your guilty pleasure, whether it be food, whether it be...
I was going to say, growing up in Chicago, I have an insatiable appetite for Vienna hot dogs.
There it is.
Yes.
I would drive an hour and a half out of my way to go to a good Vienna stand. It's got to have tamales.
Yes, sir.
But with it, not the phony bologna dog stands, the rip-off stands. Yeah. You see them in other places in the country.
Yeah.
A true Chicago-style dog. A beef is pretty good covered with peppers, so that's a good second choice. But to me, this is, and I've been in the finest restaurants all over the world having steaks and lobsters and that. Nothing beats a Chicago hot dog done right. I'm salivating thinking about it.
I can see that. It's awesome. I'm glad we did that.
That would
to
be
you.
my choice, man.
Al, did you ever have one at Superdog? I got to ask you that. Superdog? Do you remember Superdog?
No.
The drive-in? No?
No.
Okay.
Everything was the small ones, and Portillo's was the chain that was just coming back into it, but that was a pretty good sized chain that has a good dog.
Oh yes.
But I mean, I was in the inner city little joints on every corner that where you could take your finger and if you've seen through the window, you had to have enough grease on the window where you could almost write in it.
You knew it was good then.
Yes. The one that was good.
That is so great. Hey, Al, what is a song that you know every word to? A song you know every word to.
I don't know if I'm not a hardcore music nut.
Well, you gotta like songs. What's a song that makes you happy?
I love country western.
What makes you happy?
My favorite music is country western.
What's a happy Al Lindner song?
Anything, probably driving down the road, I'd have a Willie and Waylon.
Okay, yes. I like that. I like that.
I'd probably go a Willie and Waylon tune.
What's a song that makes you sad?
I mean, I love country western. I'm a fan of Willie Nelson, but Willie and Waylon, when they were working together, some of their stuff is great to me.
Amazing, amazing, absolutely amazing. Hey, what's the best movie of all time? The best movie of all time. Your favorite?
For me, it'd be Private Ryan.
Private Ryan.
That's a good
Saving
one.
Private Ryan. Outstanding. That's a good one. I gotta get smart for a minute, Al. I'm gonna put my glasses on for these tough questions here. What's the most offensive thing about professional bass fishing today? Most offensive thing about modern professional bass fishing?
Offensive.
Most offensive.
To me, it's probably lack of respect on the water for somebody, one of your other anglers, on a spot, who's got what where, and coming in on them. But if somebody is poised for a win in day one, and you're not really a player, and to respect and they're a player, let them have their water. Even if you fished it before, none of this bull. I was here before. I didn't come. That little petty stuff. You respect. If they're in a position to win, and the best you're going to do is cash a check or give them the respect of the win after day one.
Absolutely.
Love it.
100%.
Love
100%.
Yes.
Hey, Al, remember when you were that 11-year-old kid? Ron let you go fishing, took you along, and you probably had a favorite lure. Like, what is that first lure that you had a love affair with? The first lure you fell in love with?
It would have been an Abu Reflex spinner. It was an inline spinner.
An Abu Reflex?
And it was the orange one with the black-orange blade on it.
Okay.
And I caught so many smallmouth bass on that thing growing up as a kid. And I liked it. Meps made a great bait, but there was something about that Abu Reflex inline spinner on those lakes up in northern Wisconsin that I caught so many fish on.
Made it special. And there's always been, speaking of love affairs with lures, I mean, we get attached to baits. We get attached to rods and reels. Like, tell me about a bait, a story of love lost, a story of a one-of-a-kind lure that you lost.
My day in and day out favorite lure for me I like to fish a lot.
No, I'm saying like everybody, like for example, I had this Bagley Balsa B3 in yellow perch color. It was like a chartreuse, but it was more of a matted yellow. And boy, I would just catch this fire out of them on that bait, Al, that Balsa B3. And I was at Lake Schaefer one day, and I had a good one on, and for some reason the line just popped, gone. I saw the fish shake the line or shake the bait, and that Balsa B3 just went in the current, gone forever. I miss it to this day. I'm asking, do you have a lure like that?
I have a pretty much an all-time favorite bait, a hard bait.
Okay. That
I really love to fish, and it's an X-Wrap.
We know that.
The X-Wrap, Rapla's they got a whole series. Their line of minnow-shaped baits is extensive. but day in and day out, the X-Rap for me, I catch largemouth and smallmouth, and even a lot of walleyes on it. Day in, there's no place.
Everything
no,
eats an X-Rap, even tarpon and snooks.
That X-Rap is on my rod. I have an X-Rap tied on a spinning rod most of the time, sometimes in my rod, all the time, from ice out to ice up. It is always there. It is a and it is a confidence bait for me.
Well, that is not a story of lost love. That is a story of you have 500
That's a
of
current
those.
love
Yeah,
affair.
you got 500 of those in the garage. You're never going to lose those.
and by the way, the hot head and the pink are my two favorite colors.
We watch you.
Pink,
We know.
I got pink is the most underappreciated color in for bass, largemouth and smallmouth. I believe it is absolutely overlooked. Day in and day out, its effectiveness.
They love the pink. Think of the trick worm, the pink worm.
Yeah,
and it's just color in soft baits, color in pink grubs, and especially in smallmouth. Some smallmouth are they love pink spinnerbait, pink, and it is an overlooked color by a long shot, and smallmouth in particular love it, man.
That's the.
I might
tip of
tie
the
some
week.
pink jigs.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna do a little pink special edition.
Love that
Tip of the
hot
week.
head though. That hot
That's
head
awesome.
that's a bad one too. I like that one.
Well, I guess you're free to go. You passed the interrogation, so we're gonna let you out of the holding cell and just back into the regular show now. So yeah, you got a clean slate. You did good.
Hey, I really appreciate it, guy. Guy. Yeah. If I get an opportunity again, I love doing stuff like this, man.
Well, I'm not letting you go yet, Al. I'm not letting you go yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to let you know you're out of jail. We just got you out of jail. That's what we like. Jimmy Houston, when he was on, he cracked under this interrogation. He was sweating and his hair was all wet and sweaty and everything else.
Yeah, we left him in jail.
Like this?
Oh yeah. He got real nervous. He got really nervous. Hey, speaking of legends and icons, you've had the opportunity to hang out with some pretty amazing people over your career in fishing, and what is also pretty amazing that coincides with a lot of these amazing people that you've got to hang out with is Lindner terminology. And I think that Ron is probably more of the inventor of these terms we've heard over the years.
You need to get details. Ron is the one you got to talk to. That his language is something that only he has.
I know, but I mean, I've heard you pick up on it over the years. I know that he's the root, but I've heard you say neeb. I've heard you. I mean, you can't help but use words, like neeb or getting finched. I heard him talk about getting finched before, or a trick nanny. You've been trick nannied, but. So here's what I want to ask from you. And do your best. You don't have to use all these terms, but I'm gonna ask you to describe these certain anglers or fishermen or people to me, and that you've had experiences with in your fishing career, and try and use some Lindner terms to describe them. The first person on our list here that you have had an unusual encounter with is Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons, the exercise guru. He's your old buddy, isn't he?
That was a memorable one.
Yeah.
That was memorable.
Tell me a story about that.
I had a call. He was in Minneapolis. I forget what kind of deal he was doing on a news show in Minneapolis. And it was not fishing.
Okay.
And we were fishing off one of the, these public fishing docks that they put out there.
Yeah.
And I caught some bass, right? He wanted to do something on fishing. I don't quite remember the storyline. But I remember I caught this bad. It was like a deuce, about a deuce. I landed the fish, and I was going to give it to him. And you had to see. He really ran from the fish. I believe he was scared of the 2-pound bass. I'm serious, man. And he took off from. He wouldn't even touch the fish. I don't remember who called me down there to do that, other than his production house.
These guys.
I don't need a Lindner terminology word for Richard. I would have to say strange. It's a normal word. I wouldn't have it. A very strange dude.
Enough said.
In our world, it's somebody you would never expect to have spent an hour or so with doing something on television.
Yeah. And that's a hard
like
hard video to find too, Al. I had it on the
You
Berkeley.
had that? You got that video?
I have the video. It was the Berkeley Fishing Follies video.
Okay.
That's what it was. But I can't find it anywhere else online. I had to tell all these guys about it a couple years ago and show them that. But yeah, it's incredible. It's so funny.
Unbelievable. You legends get to hang out with crazy people. Like last week, we learned that Denny Brower was partying in an alley in New York with Ozzy Osbourne. That's true. Denny, this is real. At
It
the
is
David
true.
Letterman show, that happened, Al.
Yeah.
That happened.
That's one of the side bonuses of our business. The strange things happen.
Oh my goodness. Hey, did you ever get to hang out with the late Tom Mann?
Not hang out with them, but I did them well because we fished against each other in a number of tournaments.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, not the guys that I knew the most of the old guard would have been Danson Rowland, and that we were fishing. Our careers were kind of coming up at the same time. Time bass was developed. The right place, right time for a lot of circumstances.
We heard that you Lindner boys. We heard you Lindner boys like to make fun of Roland Martin or Ronald Morgan or what's it?
Roland likes to make fun of Ronald.
Is that where you guys got the gooder one? I think I got a gooder one here.
Gooder,
Is that
well,
where
I was
that came
going to
from?
say that is a gooder one. Yeah, that is the term we have. Jimmy's got it. I got it. Danny's got it. It's a gooder one. College guys, so you got to give me a little bit of a pass now.
Hey, Ray Scott, tell me about Ray Scott.
Everybody that knows the history of bass knows Ray Scott. The earlier parts of when I was fishing the early bass tournaments with him, I had an opportunity, or I did a lot with Roland in particular, and where they had the Bluebird bus, and we would drive with Scott, and he'd get a bunch of us that fished the tournament. So we drove all over the country and did seminars.
Awesome.
And he would organize these big, massive seminars in different states. And he had different guys coming in from different parts of the country that would get on the bus, and we travel and do promotion of tournaments and bass fishing tournaments, what they're all about to grow the sport. And Scott was a visionary, obviously, on that end, a great promoter, and has done so much. That was the time of spending that time with him on that bus, and a lot. John Powell, one of the old guard with worms beating banks, and Roland was the guy that I spent the most with. I've known Roland.
And Blue Fox days, too. Of course, you guys spent some time together with the Blue Fox days.
Yeah. And up here, Roland has come up here a lot of times to fish. In fact, Scott Martin, when he was almost just a little kid, stayed at Ron's house when Roland and I and Marianne went to Wisconsin to do some promotion at a muskie tournament. And Scott Martin, he must have been 3-4 years old. He stayed at Ron's house with Ron's kids.
Nice. And I'll bet he learned some terminology from Ron at that time, too.
That might have been the case, yeah.
Hey, a couple more guys.
The old guard, you look at it today, you look at Roland and Bill Dance that are still on TV. Ricky Klenn, I remember I did a television series for a short time with Ricky Klenn. We co-hosted a television series. That was a lot of fun. I got to fish and work, interacted with all of these guys over the years, and it's just interesting that how much they still love the business and they love the sport. They were building in the foundation at the beginning of this sport. They were so instrumental, but their passion is still there. And then you look at these young sticks today. You see the guys that are picking up the ball, taking it to the next generation, whatever the tournament game is going to lead into. And right now, in the last 18 months, the tournament fishing world has changed by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
By leaps and bounds. to see what's going to happen with all of this blending and the different fields, the different segment of the sport with the BPT, bass coming, FLW trans, all of this stuff is happening. It's kind of it's a fun time to see this next development stage of what's going to happen in professional bass fishing, and to still be. And I've been in a groupie all my life. I love it. I'm a student of the sport of fishing.
Sure.
Love it, every aspect of it, but I particularly love the tournament bass fishing segment because it sets the pace so fast.
Yeah.
I love walleye fishing, although the walleye market moves like at a needle's pace. And the reason for that, and I've been fighting, a lot of it is to get rid of the stinking live bait, and you change the world of the walleye fishing, but it takes forever to move that.
More X-Wraps.
That's a whole nother story.
More X-Wraps, Al.
Fast. Yeah. Bass fishing moves fast.
Yeah, no, any bait that wins a bass fishing derb instantly sells out on any of the retailers immediately.
Instant.
Yeah.
The fan base is phenomenal. And let's face it, no other fish, period, no other fish even comes close to the love and interest that bass fishing generates at every level. The fish is distributed at all levels, all over the country. They're plentiful. They love to bite, fight. Anybody participate. The young people coming into the sport, which is the greatest thing I've seen in my 50 years in this business. We've seen at the college level started it, but when it came to the high school level, it was like reaching these 14 to 18-year-old kids is taking this sport to a whole new level. I'm meeting these kids, fishing with them. When I've spent time in a boat with somebody, these kids, they are so good at 14 and 15 and 16 years old. To see them handle the equipment, they learn.
The mechanics is unbelievable.
They're the ones that are these are the next. When I talk to these kids, I says you don't know right now at this high school level, you don't realize that some of you here today, you're going to be the next Rapala. You're going to be the next television a host of wherever the television world is going to be in 10 years from now, whatever's happening in the media complex.
Sure.
You're going to be the next heroes out there delivering this stuff. You're going to be the next, some of you are going to be the next lure design that's going to come up with the next Cinco.
Exactly.
Now, but you're the seed is there right now in you at that high school level. That's where it's at, baby. It's developing. You're the comers.
I love it. I love it. And again, bring it I love how you make my segue so easy. I don't know if you know that or not, Al, but you really do. because
TV star.
Yeah. I guess he's done this before. But I mean, speaking of time coming, I think that I would be amiss if I did not discuss faith with you. I want to tell you something. I think everyone knows that you went through a life change or a transition when you found the Lord, and we really don't talk politics, we don't talk religion, we don't make fun of Rick Clunnan, we don't make fun of Mike Ditka on this show. There's just a few rules, but I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a man of faith. I consider myself a spiritual person, but I have not always been that way. Mm-hmm. And life used to be very complicated for me, Al Lindner. Mm-hmm. About 7 years ago, my life was a mess. All right, that's a dang mess. And about 6 years ago, I surrendered my life, and I'm not to a higher power, whatever that higher power may be to any individual. That is your choice. Okay, my higher power is God. Every day when I wake up, I turn my life over to God. A lot of people don't know that about me, okay? And I'm not preaching. I'm not doing that, but I want people to know how much easier life is when you turn your life over and don't carry all that weight on your shoulder. It makes my days 100% easier, and I don't worry about anything. It's sometimes scary how that happens. There was why I'm getting at this is there was a transition point in my life, something that made this happen to me, all right? I wasn't always like this. I know you weren't always like this.
Oh no, there's a point. I know where you're coming from, bro. I know where you're
Where's
coming.
the transition? What was Al Linder's transition?
That transition happened to me over a period of time. My brother, no, it's no secret. My brother had a real bad battle with booze all his life. It's I'm not talking family secrets at all. He'll tell anybody, anywhere, anytime with it. And I watched a conversion happen to him at a meeting, and I seen his life change. And his outlook on business, his relationship with his wife, everything changed. And I grew up with no real belief. As a kid, I wasn't an atheist. It wasn't that I didn't believe in God. God, my whole world was fishing. I was obsessed with it.
Sure.
That was my world. And through the adventure of life, you're seeing things, people you bump into things, you see the ups and downs, the good, bad, the ugly that happens in life and things. And I started to see a reality where the Spirit of God started tugging at my heart. There's more to it than fishing. There's more to life than fishing. And there was a point where my wife got active in the things of God before I did. And she would ask me to pray, and when I wasn't, I had my son, who was 4.5 years old at the time, my youngest son, Troy. One night, I didn't know how to pray. I had a situation where she would pray, my other son would pray, and my terms were, okay, I pray with Dad when he's alone with God later at night. Well, this happened is one night, he's 4.5 years old, and he's laying on my shoulder, and he says, Dad, Mom ain't here, Sean isn't here. Can you tell me how you pray to God when you're alone with him at night? Broke my heart.
Wow.
I didn't know what to say. And I went in the bathroom and I cried.
Holy cow.
And that he softened me up. Although people, I say things of God, I used to get stuff in the mail that people would ask me a fishing question and stuff like that. And I'd open it up and it would be a magazine and there'd be a thing that says, Jesus loves you. Just something like that.
Sure.
What is this stuff? So people started to bump into my life, and after 2 nights after that happened with my son, there was a pastor that lived in my neighborhood, and the guy was an absolute fishing nut. He lived right down the street from us. I didn't know at this time. He had me on a prayer list for I got all kind of people. I was a target for a lot of people.
That was hothead Al Linder, right?
Rolling in. I finished doing a Berkeley commercial for Trilene Fishing Line.
Yes, sir.
I'm cleaning up my boat in the back, and every time he would come by, he always asked, "Where's the bite going?" His day off, he's fishing. The guy was a hardcore fisher and good stick, by the way.
Gotcha.
And there. So he comes rolling. It's what's happened. I said, we did this commercial, Fisher biting. Every time I would see him, he would talk to me about fishing, and he'd lead into this Jesus deal with me. And I heard, that night, whatever happens in your life at that time, I wanted to hear more. I was ready. I had a softening in my heart at that time. That night, I bet God got out of my head, got into my heart, and become a real part of my daily life.
Wow.
And the body, mind, spirit, my thinking changed. A lot of things, a lot of things I do it just, I do them for different reasons now. And my faith is a big part of my everyday life. I don't walk around with this and beat people over the head with, I got it sitting in my office here as a reference.
Sure.
This is my guidebook to life.
Yeah.
It's sitting there, and it become real to me and had a major impact on my life, and is a part of how I look at business, how I treat people, and with integrity, honesty, just doing right things, man. Doing right things for the right reason.
Exactly. And isn't it amazing how much easier life got at that point, Al?
I can't say I can't even describe it.
It's nuts.
What used to it made my life, it is so much simpler for me.
Okay, now that is
it makes sense. Whatever, it makes sense now.
Thank you. Okay.
Everything makes sense now.
Thank you very much. Now that is the only spiritual segment you will ever see on Stray Cast. They think we're all wild and crazy, but hey, sometimes we keep it level. You know what I mean, Al? You know what I mean? Hey, we have been doing the Legends Month, as I explained to you here on Straycast, and we are kind of involved in a resurgence, Al, and it's the Proper Bassin' Man campaign. The Proper Bassin' Man. You know, just like from back in the day, your Al Linders, your Bill Dances, you know, they started it. Those are the original OG Proper Bassin' Men. Can you give me a definition, Al Linder's definition of a proper bassin man?
Definition?
Yeah.
You have to define the proper bassin man.
Yes, sir.
He's skilled, he's focused, is passionate beyond belief, is obsessive in what he does, and he likes to win.
Likes to win, and he's got the
That's
fire.
the driving thought.
The fire in the belly, Al.
Fire in the belly.
Fire
baby.
in the belly, Al. Fire in the belly.
And it's 7 days a week. It's more. You go to bed thinking about it at night, and you wake up in the morning thinking about it.
We got it bad,
Yes.
don't we, Al?
Yes.
We got it so bad it's good. Oh, my goodness. Al,
Oh, that was fantastic.
is there anything you want to say to the bass fishing galaxy before we get out of here?
I just really, it was just fun to be here. This was so much fun. It's a different kind of interview. You're talking from the heart, having a fun time, and I close my show off. I just want to say thanks to everybody. Be safe out there. God bless and have a great fishing season, man. Go out and enjoy God's great outdoors. Nothing is better than fishing.
And you too. Hold on. I think we got something. We got something coming in here. Hold on. What's going on, College Danny?
Yeah, Al, this is Danny. I just want to say I don't think you truly realize how big of an impact you've had on so many generations of anglers. Growing up, when all my friends were watching SpongeBob cartoons, the only show I watched was Angling Edge. I mean, I recorded on my DVR. I can guarantee 110% I would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't for Al Lindner. You got me into fishing. I learned so many techniques, how to fish. I mean, I viewed your show as my favorite show for many, many years. I just want to personally thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Al Lindner.
Wow, Al Lindner.
I appreciate that. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me focused doing what I'm doing.
I'm 22 years
Those
old.
words of encouragement, man. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
man.
Since I was 10 years old, you were my idol. I just want to say
and
thank
Al,
you, Al Lindner.
I think we can all ditto that
the
around this whole
messages,
room,
they
too.
came in all day.
Yeah,
Dave
I mean-
Mercer. You know Dave Mercer.
Yeah.
Huge fan of yours. Seth
Yeah.
Fighter. Huge fan of yours,
Yes.
man. Your son Troy. Look at all these people you influence, man. Like
Thank you.
everybody was so excited that you were coming on this goofy show today. I want to tell you, and I tamed it down a little bit for you today, Al. I did.
I went through 5 or 6 flannels until I found the right one. I don't do that.
Perfect, man. That's perfect.
So I would
Yeah,
like
right?
to, before we go, I want Ryan to do his Al Lindner fish catch move the hat impersonation. You
the
like
hat.
to adjust your hat a lot on the wall. So Ryan, could you please let Al
That's that nervous energy, man.
do it? Do your Al
Well,
Lindner.
see, I rolled the X-Wrap was coming across that point just right. You see how the wind's pushing the current here? And I pulled it across, and, man, he walloped it. And what a nice fish.
He walloped it. It's a gooder one.
That's a gooder one.
That's a gooder one. Ladies and
All
gentlemen,
I
respect,
don't
Al.
even know I'm doing that, man.
Al Lindner.
Oh, we love it, Al.
Yes.
Love it.
Thank you so much. Give me an internet high five before you get out of here.
You got it, bro.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Al.
you, thank you. It was fun, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to need you on the next 6 shows. I'm going to have those guys contact you, and we'll get it all booked up for you. Next 6 shows.
Look forward to it again sometime.
Thank you so much. Al Lindner, once again. Wow.
Adios.
Thank you. Merry
Bye,
Christmas. Happy holidays. We love you, dude. Peace. Yes. Wait a minute. It was Al Lindner, guys.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the heck just happened there.
That was really
How you
fun.
feeling, Rye?
High five.
Woo! Legends Month, guys. Legends Month.
Man,
We did it. We did it.
what a ender.
And we got one legend left.
There's more legends.
One surprise legend. But I think we're going to do
Just
it.
keep it going for the whole next year, I
Let's
think.
just do legends all the time and
Yeah.
forget about modern bass fishing.
Straight cast / legends.
I actually have a pistol grip Abu Garcia rod on my couch downstairs.
Yeah, we were just playing with
Yeah.
it.
Danny's like, why do you have a $400 reel on that pistol grip rod?
Have you ever heard of Eagle Claw?
Yes, he says it.
Did he say that?
No, eagle claw rods. When do you
my
see an eagle
goodness.
claw rod? Come on.
Yes.
Andy, you ever heard
all
eagle
the
claw?
yellow ones. Yeah.
I'm younger. I got one of the yellow ones in my garage.
They might be related to trocar. I'm not sure.
So, do you guys remember in the In-Fisherman magazine, like when I don't know, like Danny, did you have In-Fisherman magazine or no?
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
was the only magazine I read.
There you go.
That's how I learned how to read.
Andy, we were downstairs.
That's how I learned how to read.
But how about this, Andy? This is the first place, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I remember seeing like specific, detailed, explicit stuff about baits, bro. Like, okay, here they're gonna show you the Rebel Craw. That's what they're catching them on. They're also catching them on this Mr. Twister 4-inch grub, but the Shad Rap too, and they'll lay them all out,
Hey,
right?
and you know what the best part about it was is they would show you. They would have an actual picture of one that had been beaten to death.
Yes, with a chewed
like
up
one
sinker
that had teeth
and
marks all
and
over
a
it.
flattened hook point and
Yeah,
everything.
no one had done that
The,
yet.
the real deal.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Was it me or you weren't a true fisherman if you didn't have 3 stickers on your tackle box?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes, sir.
In-Fisherman.
Yep.
North
American
American.
fisherman.
Yeah. Does North American fisherman still
I
exist?
don't think so, but if you didn't have those 3
Yeah,
across
have
the
a bunch of
board,
stickers.
In this area, it wasn't happening.
you're not there.
It's like if you don't have power poles on
Yeah.
your boat, now you're a loser.
Yeah,
And it was
Sorry.
sad.
Do
it
you
was
even fish,
sad
bro?
when that sticker became more popular than the other two. I
Yeah,
saw
the
more
North American.
trucks with that silver shiny triangle.
It's because they
Yeah.
sent them to everybody.
Yeah.
They didn't even care if you fished. Sent those 2-cent stickers out. It
Now
was
it's
done.
the tackle warehouse sticker.
Yeah, now the tackle warehouse.
You got to have 50 to be legit, right?
I've seen 2 stray cast stickers.
You've seen 2.
Yeah, in the entire 5 years that this show has been on, I've
Well,
seen.
We only made 5.
Oh yeah, so we're doing pretty good.
We
We're
need to
doing
get Carl's
pretty good.
tackle backs to make some stickers,
Yes,
by the way.
Yeah, absolutely,
We need it
100%.
stapled. Yeah.
Hey, check this out. We got one more legend left. You know who the legend is? It's Bill Dance.
Yes.
It's Bill Dance, guys. I got Bill Dance coming on. We're trying to work it out. It's going to be amazing.
Jesus.
It's going to be live, not live, but it's amazing. Bill Dance is coming on. But next week we'll be back, and I think it's back to regular bass fishing galaxy.
Regular legends.
Yeah, just regular type legends.
Up and coming.
Legends to be. Legends in training.
Yeah.
PBMs in training.
What's the word they call everyone?
Lycanthropy.
Greenhorns.
Oh, wrenches? No, hammers.
Hammers.
We got just
Sheeps and wolves.
regular hammer.
Mallets. I
hammers.
prefer mallets over hammers. I prefer. Yeah. Oh, Ike Live's on this Sunday too.
Blunt objects.
Ike Live has
Yeah.
the I think the orange Shryock on.
Swingable blunt
Right?
objects.
Orange Shryock is on Ike Live this week.
Orange rack.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Fletch. Right, Ginge?
Yeah, that's correct.
Fletch is the orange, Hunter is the green.
Yes.
Okay.
Hunter Green.
There it is. Makes
Perfect.
sense. Doesn't it make sense?
Perfect.
I didn't know that. Are we debuting that? I just saw a question mark.
What?
No, they put it up today.
Okay.
Bill Dance?
who-
Yeah, we're having Bill
Who
Dance.
question marked it?
The Ike Live guys. I
It
just
was
saw.
early in the day.
Oh, we're having a show? Question mark.
No, they're having a
Yes.
show. Yeah, I talked to the carpenter today. Yeah, they're actually having Virgil Ward on. They're doing Legends Month too.
Word.
Yeah, they got Virgil Ward and then Pete Glusick is coming on. He's a legend too.
Nice.
Right, it is. Sunday night, Ike Live. I imagine it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. But you know what's happening right now?
Giving stuff away.
Give some
Free
away.
stuff. Free stuff. Shane's Baits, compliments of Shane Lahue. Enjoy Lahue. Joli Bedon. French A-Rigs. Are Shane and Troy from France? No?
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. All right, so the winner of the $50 of Shane's Baits, which are amazing A-rigs, is Alex Hawk. H-O-C-H. Alex Hawk. Alex Hawk. All you have to do, Alex, is go into our DMs, say I am the winner, and we will send you $50 worth of Shane's Baits. Great A-rigs for the cold water.
Alex.
Alex Hawk.
Alex Hawk. Yes, I
Great
got it
stuff,
up.
Alex. All you got to do is go on our DMs, say you won, and we'll send it on over.
Yes, Alex. Who could it be?
Uh-oh.
Is it Alex calling already?
Man.
Hello.
Quick on the draw.
Gosh, of course.
Oh, no.
He knew Legends Month's done. You did not win, Dean. You did not win, Rojas.
No. No, Dean.
No. Not yes. No. You don't get the Shane Baits. Alex Hawk won. Alex Hawk? Alan Hawk? Dean Hawk? Huh?
That gets me every time. I can't listen to that.
It's so good.
Is it who won?
Alex Hawk.
Not Dean Rojas.
What's his name? Alex Hawk.
Hawk.
Okay, so what does he got to do? He's got a private.
I said all he's got to do is private DM us.
I was listening to Rojas.
You were hawking over him.
Rojas just gets me every time, I swear. But Alex Hawk, all you got to do, go to our DM, say, I am the winner of the Al Lindner episode, and we will send you the $50.
And it's going to be
Baits.
a beautiful day, that's plain to see. I won't be around at all, so don't even bother to call. 'Cause on a day like today, there's one place I'd like to be. I'd like to be bassing right now,
Gone
man.
fishing.
I'd like to go on bassing. But here we are in this winter wonderland. But you know what? We bring you Fun Stew and Giggles Dumplings in the bass fishing paradise every Wednesday night. And we'll be back next Wednesday. Same bass time, same bass channel. Oh, hey, is my one contest still going on?
Oh,
Yeah.
for the reviews.
For the reviews of the iTunes.
The iTunes
I heard
reviews.
we're getting some. I'm
Are there some contestants?
I'm told I need to read them. Is what I'm told by people.
Okay.
So I will. Let's give away a prize next week. You want to do it?
Oh, can I do one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
One more thing.
Is it a trick or no?
No. Purdue Fishing got a new president, and Sam Ryan. You know Sam.
Oh, Sambo.
I promised him I'd say congratulations on the presidency. Sam, you're going to do a great job. Congrats, man.
Congrats, Sam Ryan.
Yeah, way to go, Sam.
Sam, you're going to do great.
Way to
man.
just ruin the whole ending of our show, Sam.
I'm sorry.
Way to go. Just because you're a president. Fine. Way to go, college kid. We're just
Solid
kidding.
last name.
Absolutely. No, that's great. Congratulations, Sam Ryan. Sam Ryan, Popcorn Whitaker. Al Lindner, Leviticus Numbers. Boom. Hey, it's been a skilled, sweet ride on this chariot of bass. I'm glad you could join us, my friends.
Hey,
Next
Pat.
week, hey, Rye.
We just interviewed Al Lindner.
I know, that's your hero. It's crazy. It's like how when I had Clun in. I mean, they're all my heroes.
I mean, every one of them, I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's crazy. We would be amiss if we did not thank Al Lindner, Jimmy Houston, Denny Brower. I like
Denny
to say
Brower.
it would be amiss a lot lately.
Yeah.
I say that a lot. It would be amiss. It would be amiss if I did not thank you, Bass Fishing Galaxy, for tuning into this show. It would be amiss if I did not thank Alpha Angler, T.H. Marine, Barney Bates.
Hey, you'd be
Loudest
amiss if you weren't a mister.
Bite Me Tackle, War Eagle, Line and Lure, and Power Pole. The Mr. The 80s
Mr.
band.
Mister, yeah.
The Mr.
Ain't
Mister, the
enough
80s band.
yeah.
I'm Pat Renwick. That's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He's a big Al Lindner fan. Danny Mohan grew up watching The Angling Edge. JP High, he read that In-Fisherman magazine. And Andrew Ellenberger read everything that the In-Fisherman put out. Books, magazines, television shows, big screen.
Had 7 stickers on his tackle box.
7 stickers. Peace, Bass Galaxy. The Legends Month has come to an end, but proper bassin' lives on. I'm Pat Renwick, and I'm out.